So I've gotten a lot of questions from a lot of creators, especially my students, asking me, can they change their niche at certain points in their creation career? Now, I probably understand what you're going through. You're thinking of maybe if you change your niche, it's going to work. What if it doesn't work? I understand that. I've been in that scenario. I won't lie to you. And I'll be sharing my experience with you guys in today's video. The things you should do, the things you should not do. Maybe I should say the things you should consider and the things you shouldn't consider. Because changing your niche, yes, sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not work. Now, we have to start from you as the creator. I like to talk about these 4 things, right? If these 4 criteria are not met, I think you should consider maybe changing your niche. The first thing here is your passion. Do you like what you are actually doing? If not, probably you won't have motivation in actually creating those videos. The second thing here is the algorithm. Now, is the algorithm actually in favor of your channel or not? What do I mean by this? Are you getting views from it or you're not getting views? You have to check among your videos to see the most performing videos and try to make content that surround those videos. You have to like niche down in the sub niche and niche down in that sub niche again. So you have to look at your videos and look at where you've gotten more subscribers, where you've gotten more watch time, where you've gotten more views, you've gotten your highest click-through rate, and you put all that together and say, okay, I'm going to take this direction, I'm going to take that direction. The other thing you have to consider is output. I know there are some niches on YouTube that have a fairly low RPM and the other ones that have a high RPM or CPM, whatsoever one you want, because it's actually directly proportional. So when thinking of changing your niche, sometimes it's not necessarily actually changing the niche itself. It's somehow changing the content you are talking about. Because there's some content that they can work for a certain audience. There are some content that might probably make your videos have $0 signs, and you know that that is ads limited and it's not going to raise you a lot of money. Now, let me put it in some context here. You can be talking about history, but under the history niche, you can be talking about how companies rise to fame. And still under history, you can still talk about some kind of wars that happened in the past, fights and all those things. Yes, you obviously expect the one that talks about the history of a company to make more money compared to the one that you're talking about war, right? It's very obvious. And so you want to actually consider this when it comes to output. And when I still talk about output, you have to consider, okay, which one actually brings you brand deals? Which one can actually work with affiliate marketing? Which one can work with sponsored content? I mean, you have to consider those things. You just have to before thinking of changing your niche. The next thing I want to talk about is resources. Sometimes you face the difficulties of actually continuing to produce videos because of resources. Like, do you want to reduce the amount of money you spend in producing your videos? Maybe you don't want to actually use an expensive smartphone like this one. You want to use something like this, right? This phone, I don't know if you use. This next factor is actually something I consider when starting any YouTube channel. And sometimes you might not even know this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about resource. That is how much you have to spend on your YouTube channel. Sometimes you have a lot of dreams, like you want to get the best cameras, and probably you get the best camera and you forget that no, you haven't gotten a good mic as well. This is a Rode mic, my favorite microphone. And sometimes you even forget that you've gotten a microphone, but how you gonna get your editing tools? How you gonna get people that are gonna edit your videos and all those things? That is needing resource. That is needing money to invest on your channel. And the best thing about it at some point is maybe you want to quit that niche, but you have to also consider that anything that can be done with the face can actually be done faceless. Now, AI has actually even gotten to the point where you can create a whole interesting video without actually showing your face and without even using your mic. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm not using the Rode Pod mic you see here because this is the Rode Pod mic. As you can see from here, that is the Rode Pod mic I use on my background. I'm not actually using this, but I'm going to use AI to enhance this video called Adobe Podcast, right? So you see, you can reduce the amount of money you spend on producing your videos in one way or the other. Again, changing your niche because of a resource, as I said, you can still do things faceless and you must not actually use your face. There are benefits with using your face and there are benefits without using your face, but everything just boils down to you as the creator. Now, the next thing is actually time. I know a lot of people are running businesses. Myself, I'm actually running a business. And you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel. How are you going to manage that? Or you're actually thinking of you're in school. How are you going to manage school work and your YouTube channel as well? Now, you're thinking of changing your niche because of this, because maybe you're taking a lot of time. And yes, that is a good reason, actually. Because myself, when I started, I wanted to teach people on the different subjects I was studying in school. That was physics and ICT, but I felt like, it's going to be difficult for me. So I decided to engage into a niche that is easier. And I'm talking about the entertainment niche, the celebrity gossip niche, right? So with that in mind, you have to consider, but when considering this, is it possible that you actually do it in a way that is cheap, you spend less time, but you're producing the same content? What am I saying? Now, probably using a whole set of cameras, setting up all these equipment I've actually done, lightnings and all these things takes a lot of time, right? Why don't you go faceless? That's where the faceless niche actually comes in place. Sometimes it's a matter of organizing yourself. It's just a matter of organizing yourself. Okay, today I'm going to come up with a script, not pressuring yourself after all. Come up with a script. The next day I'm going to come up with the title of what I'm going to talk about. The next day I'm going to come up with a script. I'm going to do research. The next day I'm going to come up with a video. I mean, you can find a whole strategy that works for you, because it doesn't actually matter how many times you upload on YouTube. You want to make sure that the quality is good enough. That is just the aim, because you want to make sure that you're keeping people in the platform. So forget about other people working on the YouTube platform. Forget about the pressure. Trying to produce the best content you can. And if you're still thinking that this is actually taking a lot of time and you want to probably change the niche, think about this. What if you change the niche and it doesn't even work? Like, you have lost everything, right? So you should actually also maybe think about starting a new channel rather than actually changing your niche. These are all the things I've actually experienced. This is the same thing that I always tell my students. And I think if you're thinking of changing your niche because you're getting low views, you should consider these points I'm actually telling you about. And if it works for you, that is good. I hope this video has given you a lot of value to actually understand what you need to understand when starting up your YouTube channel. You should click here because it explains everything. And with this, you probably have a direction, and I think you'll not ever think of changing your niche in the future ever.